Hello, everybody. Here's a question for you. Actually, it's two questions, but it's really one. Why do people buy? And how do they buy? That's going to be our topic for today. This is the opening monologue. Welcome to the Martial Arts of Sales. My name is Paul Cruz. I have an exciting and I think a very powerful topic. It's been brewing in my mind for a while. And I said, now is the time to talk about it. Because when you have a strong enough why you do something or you want to do something, that's an emotion, right? The how to do it will come. You will figure out a way to do it, right? So why do people buy? And how do they buy? The why is the cause, and the how is the effect or the action. Does that make sense? I got my cheat sheet charts today. So I want to share some things with you. Remember the simple fact, and don't ever lose sight of that. You salespeople, you entrepreneur, and you small business owner. This little fact can change the volume or the sales volume in your business. Remember this, you and I, and the people we trying to sell to or offer our services, we are all customers. We buy because we want something, or we buy because we need something. Does that make sense? And in the topic, what we're going to talk about is there's 7 to 8 emotions that we all have. And we all use it one way or another. When we purchase, when we buy, when we own something. You better accept this because that's the fact. And I challenge anybody to dispute any of the 7, 8 emotions that we're going to talk about. And here's another thing. Me, you, we. Why are we in business? Why are you in business? Because we want to be in business. Do we need to be in business? Not really. But we want to be in business. Why do we want to be in business? What is that how? You see what I'm saying? So don't forget that. Incredible topic. Now, again, the reason why people buy, we all buy, because we either want something which is emotional or we need something logical, right? And when we need to do something, we resist it like a plague. You need to go to the doctor. Well, I don't want to go to the doctor. Well, you need to go to the dentist. I don't want to go to the dentist. Well, you need to pay insurance. Well, I don't want insurance. Why do I need to buy? Right? Keep that in mind. The hardest part in sales, in my experience, is taking somebody that's not emotional, that's logical, that they need something, they know they need it, but they're resisting and getting them to want it. That's skills. That's what this topic will help you do. So, there are about, I would say, 7 to maybe 8 emotions that trigger you to buy. All of us. You, me, everybody. Whether you're a billionaire, millionaire, or just regular, ordinary customer. It doesn't matter. We all have that ingrained in us. Stay tuned, guys. This is going to be an incredible topic. Before we dig into the meat and potatoes of the topic, let's go to the introduction. Hello, everybody. Are you excited today? Are you excited about being a business owner? Are you excited about being an entrepreneur? How about you salespeople? Are you excited about being a salesperson, or are you ashamed of it? I'm excited, and I don't deny that I'm a professional salesman. Not ashamed of it. Matter of fact, I personally believe being a professional salesman is the most phenomenal profession in the world. It is. If you look at all the successful athletes and musicians and artists and entertainers and actors and real estate moguls, it doesn't matter. They are professional salespeople. Now, are you excited? Because if you're not excited, you're going to miss everything else. Because there are 7 to 8 emotions that trigger all of us. And especially the customers that you're going after, that I'm going after, that I want them to do business with me. This is the number one thing that triggers all the other 6 to 7 emotions that make us take actions to purchase, to buy, to own. It doesn't matter. The number one thing is, I have my Chi-Chi charts today, is excitement. You have to be excited. Are you excited about what you do? Are you excited and believe that what you're offering clients is valuable, important, beneficial to them? Because if you're not excited, you're not going to be able to tell a good story. If you look at movies or watch movies or go to the theater, that's what they do. They get you excited to get there. That's where it all starts. That's where it starts. You got to be excited. You have to be excited. I'm excited every single day. When I was been thinking about this topic, I got excited about it first. Then I transitioned to number 2. Customers are enthusiastic. Ask yourself this question. Are you enthusiastic about offering what you're offering, selling what you're selling, buying what you're buying? Because you buy and I buy, right? So you got to think about that. That's an emotion. Enthusiasm is a stronger version of being excited. You have to be excited. That's where it all starts. It's like, for example, before you take an action or you speak, you have to think about that. There's a thought that goes into your mind before you speak or before you take that action. I was thinking about this topic. It was in my mind. I was trying to say, well, how do I do it? I want to make it simple yet effective and powerful. Then I started writing it down. Now I'm speaking it. No different. Your customers, my customers, or prospects and my prospect, they have to be enthusiastic. That makes them move. You have to get them enthusiastic. Not only about you, but the product, the process, the whole caboodle. You got to get them enthusiastic about it. You got to get them excited and enthusiastic about owning what you're about to offer them. And the first thing they're going to want to own is you. And what I mean by owning you is they have to buy and be excited about you, being enthusiastic about you. Because at the end, we are the commodity. I never lose sight of that, but I don't make it about me. So keep that in mind. Number 3 is greed. Now, greed can be used the right way or the wrong way. Unfortunately, human nature in our mind is greed is good, and it's not if it's way too much. But you have to understand customers are greedy. And you may not think it this way. I'll give you an example. Somebody who buys 5 cars or 5 mansions or has 30 exotic cars. Why? I'm not jealous or mad about that. That's greed. Does that make sense? But that's an emotion and it sells. When you're investing in a stock market or mutual fund or any other commodities or the currencies or whatever it is, why are you investing? 1, you want to, right? And number 2, you're greedy. You want to make a profit. That's the only reason why. You're greedy. I was greedy. It's just the way it is. You have to understand these emotions, that they exist in you, so that you can understand how to communicate more effective with your prospect. Because this is how they buy. This is how I buy. This is how you buy. You may not know, but I know it. So number 3 is greed. Number 4 is the fear of loss. That's called the what if scenario. What if I would have done this? Or what if I should have done that? Right? It's very powerful. The fear of that's not yours yet, but the fear of losing something, one, you don't have, and number 2, remember, this is about buying. They haven't bought it yet, but the fear of losing it, even though you don't have it yet, is a big, big, powerful emotion. Now, how you use it in the sales process is a whole different thing. You know, it's very tactful, and you strategic. You gotta know how to use it. With the customers don't realize that their fear of loss is working on them. And think about it. Every day we're getting marketed new things, whether it's on TV or commercials, websites, internet. We're all fall into that trap. You just have to know that it exists. You have to know that when you're in that moment, how to react or get out of it. Does that make sense? So, fear of loss is number 4. Number 5 is what we call urgency. In order to create urgency, you have to understand all the first 4. Because when you got the greed factor, when you got the what's the other one? When you have the enthusiastic, excitement, all that, the urgency means there's a certain time to do it at a certain price, right? That's the urgency. Urgency does sell. There's a thing that's maybe I shouldn't bring it up, but they said sex sells, right? I'm against it, personally, but it's out there, right? It sells. Bad news sells. Things that go wrong sells. That's the way it is. It's terrible, but it is. Those things sell. Urgency sells. Excitement sells. Enthusiasm sells. Greed sells. Fear of loss sells. Because when you want something, all these emotions come into play. No ways around it. When you need something, that don't fall into play. Matter of fact, it blocks it all off. So when somebody needs something and you have it, you got to get them to transition from needing to wanting and knowing it's in their best interest. You have to know how to create those emotions in people. That's the art of storytelling. It's another topic, but you have to really know how to create those emotions in people. Number 6 is impulse. Impulse is a very powerful emotion. Sometimes it destroys people, unfortunately. I've seen it happen. When I was a stockbroker, and this called One Call Close, on the first phone call, I would ask people for $100,000 on a trade. And they had to buy impulse right there. They had 3 days to pay for it, and there was no internet. It wasn't like it is now. But I would get people to send me $100,000, $200,000 on the first time they speak with me on the phone. That was impulse. Or sometimes you're just walking by a store, you're not expected to buy impulse, you buy, and then you regret it later, right? A lot of people these day and age, they go out to clubs, they meet women, and they have sex, and they have all these things. The next day they wake up, they regret because it was an impulse, it was an emotion, most powerful emotion you can have. I know that sounds extreme, but it's reality. That's the way our mind works. Impulse. Just boom, not thinking about it. Just boom, just feeling it and doing it. Oh, it feels good. It's not always right, but it is part of selling. This is how people buy. Now, which one of these you use on people or you get them to feel, that's on you. But just know these are emotions that you at one time or another do use to buy, that I use, to buy. I understand it when I'm doing it. So I'm okay with it. I just understand it. Okay? And then number 7 is want. And what do these all emotions have in common? The first 6 is that it all starts with wanting something. That's it. When you want something and it's there, all these other 6 emotions start to trigger. And when they're all connected with each other, the action is the buying. That's why politicians can manipulate people. They're really good at this. That's why musicians are good. The big artists, the entertainers, the actors, the athletes, they all know how to use these 6 emotions because they know you want to watch sports and the advertisers know that and they manipulate it. But you know you're being manipulated, right? I hope you do. So these are the 6 emotions that make people buy. Again, there's only 2 reasons why people buy. They want something or they need something. So the 8th one, and it's really a bonus, is need. That's the logic part. When you need to do something, you will always resist to do it in the beginning. Those are the hardest sales in my experience. But I actually like them because they challenge my skill, where I turn them from needing, and they do need it, to wanting it. And at that point, it's really got to come down to them buying me more than buying the product or services because they buy into the person. But once they use it and they own it and it works and they see the results, they're thankful. They become very loyal customers because they did things on the logical part. They resisted, but then they converted into the emotional part. Does that make sense? But at the end is the want is the emotion and the need is the logic. Does that make sense? So it's phenomenal when you understand how these 6, 7 emotions work. There's really 6 emotions, but one reason why they do it, and that's because they want something. When you truly get a grasp and understand how to use these elements, your sales will boom. But here's the downside. You can also use it for the wrong reasons. And if you do it for the wrong reason, shame on you. Really. Because it's a powerful tool. It's a skill that a professional salesperson can manipulate for the wrong reasons. I know because I've been there and I've done that. So, at the end of the day, when you're on the phone and you're trying to close more leads into sales and convert more prospects into customers, understand these emotions. There's nothing wrong getting the customers to have those emotions. But just don't bring out those emotions because you just want to make a sale. You want to do it for the right reasons, that they need to own it because it will help them. And then make them want to own it. Does that make sense? Because nobody wants to buy or be sold, but everybody likes to buy. Just the way it is. Does that make sense? So, anyway, I hope this has been helpful. I want to thank all of you for being part of the martial arts of sales. Again, If you're watching this on YouTube and you like the video, give me thumbs up because it does help the algorithm. Also, hit the subscription button below and do share the video with others. Till we speak again, I say goodbye. This is Paul Cruz with the Martial Arts of Sales. Have a very successful day.